Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. So I was just messaging with a friend from WhatsApp, and it just inspired me to make this video, and I've been meaning to make this video for a long time. So this is part of the Coward series. Every Saturday, guys, tune in. I'm going to try and do a Cowards video every Saturday, and it's going to have a different theme, and mostly it's going to be orientated around how to overcome fear and not allow yourself to be a coward. So the title of this video is how to overcome social anxiety. How to overcome social anxiety for business leaders and entrepreneurs. Now, this is probably going to be you. You're going to be shocked how much you're going to resonate. So, as a lot of you know, I coach a lot of people. I coach people from all different backgrounds and different walks of life, different professions: doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, teachers, personal trainers. The list goes on and on. You name it. One of the common things which comes up, and this has been something that I've struggled with at times as well, is lots of people that run businesses are doing what they love, which is really good. But then they get to this negative point where basically a positive can turn into a negative. And this is actually where this is actually a fear, where fear can trick you. So entrepreneurs, a lot of entrepreneurs that I coach or friends that I know will say to me, I'm not sure at the moment if I'm doing the right thing, because at the moment, I'm putting a lot of effort into my business. I'm spending a lot of time at home creating content, getting the sales, getting the marketing, adding value, getting clients, generating leads, the marketing, etc. But I'm not socializing at all. I'm just spending massive amounts of time on my own, and I'm not meeting up with friends. I'm not meeting up with family, and I'm not sure if it's a good thing. And the real truth is, it's not a good thing, because there is a balance. And I'll tell you when you know it isn't good, because a lot of the times men struggle to say this, and I've struggled myself, so I know the pattern. What you're saying is you feel lonely, and I go through it quite a lot as well. And the loneliness is because you're on your own too much. Now, of course, there is a counter argument, and there is a lot of truth in it, but it can also be inaccurate depending on where you're at, how much socializing you do. Where people will say, in order to be successful in business, you can't be distracted. You can't spend time around family, because sometimes family can be negative. They can distract you. You can lose focus. Or if you're around people, friends, they can be the same. Or being around people, it's going to distract you. Of course, those things can be true. But in my experience, you guys appreciate it. You appreciate when I'm honest. I've been in business now for almost 11 years. And I've said this to one of my clients recently on my 1-year program, when he asked me questions about, how I've been successful, the failures I've had, the challenges, whether it's mental health, financial, business. And honestly, guys, my business has gone the best, and my happiness, my mental health has always been the best when I've had a good balance where I'm grinding, I am working my arse off. Obviously, I'm spending time on my own when I'm, adding value, creating content, doing events. Obviously, I don't spend time alone when I coach my clients, but obviously there's a lot of time on my own making these YouTube videos, editing, going to the gym, cooking. There is a lot of time on my own, but it's been the best time for me when I've put that time in on my own. But when my body tells me, right, we're out of balance now, I've got to go and see my family, I've got to go and see a friend, or I've got to go on a date, or I've got to spend time with my girlfriend if I have a relationship at that time, you've got to face that fear. And I know I'm going on a tangent here, but I was listening to Teddy Atlas. Most of you know who that is. He was a former trainer of Mike Tyson, an understudy of Tyson's main mentor, Cus D'Amato. Teddy Atlas is famous, got the podcast show. I really like the way Teddy Atlas talks about fear, and how a lot of the times people don't like admitting it. They want to give it other names. But this is a fear. This is a social anxiety, because it goes quite deep, guys. You'll appreciate it. So a lot of the times, see, the good thing about spending time on your own is you can get a lot of stuff done, right? The bad thing about spending too much time on your own, especially for men, is your anxiety, paranoia, negative thoughts start to manifest more than they usually would if you're around family, friends, clients, you're talking to members of the public. Because when you're talking to people and you're connecting, if you're connecting properly, you're distracted from mental health that we all have. You know, not everyone, I know not everybody's got severe mental health, but everybody has negative thoughts. Everybody experiences anxiety. Everyone can get paranoid. So it is a balance. Now, I can't draw you a chart. I can't get a pie chart or a diagram and say, this is the exact balance of how much time you should spend on your own and how much time you should spend with family or your partner or your clients or people. I don't think you need that. I think you just got to listen to your instincts, your intuition. Now, coincidentally, after I do this video, I'm going to see my family. I made plans. I'm going to spend time with my dad, my brother. I spoke to my mum today on the phone. I was with a friend yesterday, so I am practicing what I'm preaching. But believe me, guys, there's times when I struggle as well. And a lot of the fears, I'll tell you the fears that all entrepreneurs have. They all resonate. And again, I'm not scared to admit it. A lot of times the fear is financial fear. It's if I stop working on my business and I go and socialize with family, friends, or just go out or date, then I'm not going to make any money in my business and I'm not going to be able to survive and pay my bills and get ahead. Also, if I don't keep working on my business, I'm not going to make the impact with my clients or my customers or my brand or my following. I'm going to fail, I'm going to lose it, it's going to be taken away from me. So it's these huge deep fears of failing, of rejection, of loss. But most of the time, as you know, fear lies, it tricks you. Those things usually don't happen. When you get the right balance, you actually make more money. Listen, there's certain laws in this world universe. Some of us can explain it, some of us can't. I always make more money. I always do better in business. I always attract a better quality woman, better relationship when I've got the balance right, because the energy is just spreading in a positive way. It builds a momentum, right? Now I want to make a point of saying, I can't know every single one of you what your relationship is like with your parents, right? I hope that is a great one, but obviously the reality is it's not always the case. With my family, they know about my mental health, so I tell them, and they're great, they're supportive, so it's not personal. I have a joke with my mum. My dad said, look, it's not personal. If they say we haven't seen you for so long, say it's not you. I love a fan. It's me. Sometimes I find it hard. I'm on my business, I'm making progress, I'm working with my clients, I'm going to the gym. It's hard to break out of that sometimes. It's so hard to break out of it. It can be very hard, and the longer you stay in it, the harder it is to break out, because you just get set in your ways, and of course you get comfortable. So initially, yes, you know, so the counter argument, let's say you've got someone who is really social and they see their family a lot, they're always hanging out with their friends, they're dating someone or they're going out dating, but at the same time, that's really great, but they're not fulfilled in their life because they're not working on their business, or they're not facing their fears, they're not even started the business. So for that person, the advice will be different. The advice probably would be, you need to cut back a little bit on socializing, because you're socializing too much, which could be an escape. I'm not saying you shouldn't spend time with family. There is a balance, right? I know how much we love and appreciate our families. We're just getting the balance. And this is never personal. So I tell my friends and family, so they're not offended, so they don't feel rejected or it's personal. I say it's me. Sometimes I just get set in my ways, and that's why you've not heard from me for a long time. So people always appreciate that. That's a great social skill. If you send someone a message or you write to them and say, look, apologies, I haven't been in touch for a while, I've just been, you know, I've been suffering with anxiety, or things have been going really well in my business and I've been in tunnel vision. People appreciate it. So it's about communication. But a lot of the times I understand, if you let the fear get the better of you, you can get in a ditch where you get paranoid. And people don't realize, somewhere in their mind, it's like, well, people have let me down in the past, you know, people have bullied me, or people have broken my trust. Of course, we've all been through these things at some point, but that doesn't mean everyone's like that. And that's where you've got to be careful with the fear, because then it's like, oh, I'm not going to enjoy being around people. I used to get that conversation. I know everyone gets that, especially entrepreneurs who come from initially an introverted background, who have built themselves up, especially when they're successful. It can be very hard to be motivated and to feel safe and confident, all the good feelings, to get around people. But as I said, it's never personal. This is mental health. So you've got to break out of it, and you've got to face that fear. And it's, you know, see what I'm learning lately, it's not like, oh well, today I'm breaking out of the fear, right? Because there's a part of me now, there's a part of me, and it's not personal again, that could easily put off going and seeing my family today, even though I'm really looking forward to it, because I've got used to being on my own as well. I'm running a business, and, you know, watching the people that I follow, David Goggins, Les Brown, boxing, you get set in your ways, and it can be hard mentally and emotionally, psychologically. It can be hard to break out of that. And of course, like I say in a lot of my videos, you've got to leave the house, because when you're stuck in the house on the laptop and you're in that sort of, you get into that world where it can initially be good, but it can turn dark. So of course, everything is about a balance. It's the same with anything. So it's about getting the balance as best as you can, and it hasn't got to be a perfect balance. That's why I said, and I've done this, one of my clients, Phil, on the 12-month program that he's doing, this is something that I was teaching and helping him, because I've learned from my own mistakes, and I've seen his results just skyrocket because he's getting the balance right, spending time with his family, dating, friends, his clients, his business, his training, his gym, his dieting, and the energy is even better. So we've got to be careful. The fear lies to you, fear tricks you, fear says to you that if I go out and socialize, my business is going to go down the toilet, I'm going to lose what I've gained, sales are going to go down, my creativity is going to go down, I'm going to lose it, it's not going to be successful, people won't value it as much. It's tricking you, it's lying to you. You have to be very disciplined, and this comes with experience. And as I said, I've had the same fear. I've overcome it so many times, and you've got to keep overcoming it. Now, like I said earlier, for someone who is always around people, they would have to do the opposite. If they want to be successful, they'd have to learn to be on their own and overcome the fear of being afraid to be lonely. So there is a balance. It is a great skill. And my father taught me this skill. You guys will appreciate it. When I was younger, and this was a positive and a negative, I was always around my friends and cousins, and I loved it. But my dad recognized that I had an insecurity, and my dad said to me, look, it's good that you're around your friends. I love your friends. But he said, shouldn't rely on them all the time, because in life, as you get older, there's going to be times where people are not going to be around. They're not always going to be there to make you feel good. You've got to learn to enjoy your own company. You've got to learn to like yourself on your own and be able to take care of yourself on your own. And I never forgot that when my dad told me that when I was really young. And I didn't want to hear it, I didn't agree with it, but it resonated later on. I applied it, it saved my life, changed my life. So if you can face the fear in both areas and do the best you can, if you can be happy and confident on your own and be very productive and creative in your business and get done what needs to be done, whatever it may be, whether it's creating content, marketing, leads, sales, doing the best you can for your clients, following up on business, or, you know, whatever you're dedicated to do in your business, running a team, whatever it may be, if you can be great at that on your own and doing that, but then also be very good at overcoming that social anxiety. And it's also that entrepreneurial anxiety where you can switch off and say, right, I've done my business stuff this week, done sales, help the clients, done the marketing, coming away now. Forget about business, taking the week off, going to go and spend time with family, or spend time with your partner, or spend time with your friend, even taking the day off. And it's not listening to the fear that's saying, oh, but what if I stop now, I'm going to lose it. You're not going to lose it. If you're really committed and you're honest in what you're doing and you're working hard, if you've got value, you've got value. I've been giving value since 2012, almost 11 years. It's never gone. Value can't just go tomorrow, because it's me. We're all valuable. I create the value. I create the content. I don't mean that in an arrogant way, but I'm calling out fear that it's not true. People have been taking my coaching year in, year out consistently. Of course, within that, I get rejections, as every business does, because there's value. The value's not going to change because you go and spend a week with your family or you see friends. Now, of course, again, just a bit of grey area. If you're around really toxic people and they're negative and always toxic, then that's not good. So it's the old saying that my manager, when I was at Royal Mail, when I was a postman, he said to me, Jonathan, change what you can change, accept what you can't change. You have no control over that. and be smart enough to know the difference. So within all these complexities of fear, which is one fear, social anxiety, the fear of losing things if I stop, whether it's the video game, the YouTube channel, the content creation, the business, teaching, marketing, working with clients, you have to have the confidence to let go and say, if I lose it, then I lose it. I can build it back, but you're not going to lose it. But you're probably going to lose it the other way, and go and socialize. Of course, do the best you can. And again, guys, get the perfectionist voice out of your head. Stop listening to that, because you don't have to be perfect. Sorry, I'm just getting the light here. Speaking of perfect, and the light doesn't have to be, well, the light has to be perfect. So you don't have to be perfect to do this. And I think a lot of the time what happens to people, and I know I've been through it, I've taught my clients out of this, got them into good state. People get in their head too much, and then they start thinking, you can think things like, oh well, I don't feel good enough to go and be around my friends and family because I didn't make enough progress in my business. Or it could be the other way around. You've made a lot of progress, you feel good enough, and you're worried that if you go and see friends, family, or socialize with the outside world, that's going to affect you, and then you're going to lose what you've built up. But if you really work on discipline and mindset and all the things I teach on this channel, which are really basic stuff, but it takes courage and it takes that commitment, going to the gym, eating healthy as consistent as you can. Again, that doesn't mean you can't have a cheat meal. I just thought of a hamburger then anyway. So it's balance, but it takes a lot of courage to face the fear and to admit it. A lot of times men have a hard time, especially entrepreneurs, you know, at times who have got a healthy ego, especially if they're successful. People look up to them and they've got followings. I had to mature and get past this, because at the end of the day, that stuff's not as important as your mental health, as your happiness, your family, people that you love. And I've said this before. I remember a client years ago, guys. I was coaching a guy. This was a long time ago, but I remember it. And he was a businessman. And he asked me a question on the coaching. He said to me, I always appreciate honesty. He said to me, how do I feel valuable? I don't feel like I've got enough value for people. I don't feel valuable. And I said, well, on a human level, the best way to feel valuable and to have value is to be kind to other people. And I know that people can totally underestimate that. Be honest, be kind. Trust me, people will value you, and that takes a lot of courage at times, because it takes guts to open up and be kind and give that type of energy to people. So again, all these fears and insecurities that I'm not good enough, I'm going to lose everything, I need to be the best, I need to be up here, it can all be fear tricking you. And that's why I say don't allow yourself to be a coward. And a big part of today is don't let fear confuse you. Because then people rationalize it and say, well, this guy on YouTube said you need to be working and grinding every single day of every hour. And it's like, yeah, there's truth in that, but that could run you into the ground. You could take my words out of context, because people have said to me, well, Jonathan, you say you've got to be fearless, you've got to take action. It's like, yeah, I did say that, but I didn't say you've got to run yourself into the ground. I did say that you can have a rest, you can have a day off, you should go and meet family. So it's not taking things out of context. And just because one person says you shouldn't socialize with anyone, you should lock yourself in your bedroom and get your laptop and just focus on your business so you can become a millionaire. That could be very true. And you could become a millionaire doing that, but you could also have a mental breakdown doing that. You could also be the most unhappiest person. So why not get the balance right? Why not lock yourself away when you have to and put the grind in, put hours and hours in, and then come away and then go and socialize? So make it simple, guys. I make my coaching simple for my clients. And if any of you do need some help and you need some coaching, get in contact. I'm really good at talking people out of one state into another state and getting them to take action and face fears. As I said, sometimes you face one fear, which is really brave, but you're facing that fear so you can really hide from another fear that's frightening you. And sometimes social anxiety kicks in. And look, I know people might say, well, you know, we shouldn't be scared of our family and friends and people that love us and we trust and we know, and I agree, but sometimes we have anxiety. Everyone gets it, and it's not personal. We don't love our family and friends any less, but we're human. And it happens to me sometimes when I'm working hard, I'm training, I'm overworked, I'm a bit burnt out, and then I feel that anxiety where I feel, oh, I don't really feel like being around people for today. I love my family, but I'll leave it this week. And they're very understanding. So communication is the key as well. But all this takes courage, because we've got to admit something that most people don't want to talk about and they don't want to admit, which is fear, and which is admitting and saying, yeah, although I'm a successful business entrepreneur and people see me this way, or however they see me, whatever they think, I'm scared, I have fear, fear's kicking. Good, admit the fear. That takes the ultimate courage. Even more courage, face the fear. So face the fear of putting the business down for 1 day or 4 hours and go and face that social anxiety and go and speak to a friend or meet up with a friend, go and have a coffee. I personally think, especially for entrepreneurs, especially coaches, we need time in person. It's not healthy just zooming on the Zoom call, on the WhatsApp. It's too digital. It hasn't got the love, it hasn't got the empathy, it's too robotic. But obviously, worst case scenario, if you can't get to people in person, then have a phone call. It's the next best thing. So you need connection. Yeah, this is my point. And I've learned this a lot. I forget to share it on the channel. I say it with clients all the time, and I've experienced it. It's not always about what you get, it's about what you give. So a lot of the times, and even happens to entrepreneurs, they stop feeling valuable, not just financially, self-esteem, because they're not giving their personality, they're not having conversations with family and friends. When you have a conversation with someone, it reinforces, even if you're not consciously trying to do it, it reinforces your value, because you see the reflection from the other person that you're conversing with and you're being kind to and you're connecting with. You see how it makes them happy. I had a conversation today with a lady, just a nice conversation, and she was so happy because I spoke to her, and I was so happy because she spoke to me. And we both, it was just a nice energy. It was honest, it was pure, and I had a chat with her about 20-30 minutes, a girl from the Ukraine, and I said, have a great day, lovely to meet you. I made a whole day and she made my day, because of the connection and because of reinforcing. Because sometimes we forget, we're all human, we forget that, oh yeah, actually I have got value. My value doesn't have to be determined by how much money I got and how much Instagram followers I got and how much business I'm working on. That's a certain measurement, but that's not true value. Your value is who you are as a person, and the simple things, love, it's basically love, that's your value, to put it to a point. So entrepreneurs, they get so in their head, they're on the grind, they get in that, especially men, in that masculine, in that warriorship way, and they get scared to love. Fear kicks in. We don't get comfortable with it at times. Love family, friends, and I speak from experience. I'm a human being, I'm a man. I was about to say I'm also a good-looking entrepreneur. All of you lot would agree with me, right? Let me know in the box below if you're experiencing me visually in a different way since I've improved myself and I'm growing old gracefully, right? So it's all courage, it's all facing fear, like I said. So just to give you an example, right, because I've failed at this many times and I've succeeded this week. This week, it's been a grinding week. I've been selling, I've been getting my ass kicked, getting rejected. I got a sale today. I've been helping my clients, they're doing well. I socialise with a friend, I've been in the gym, I'm going to see my family now. I've kind of outlined, nothing's perfect, a kind of perfect week, a balance where I've done my business, I've done the gym, I socialised with friends, you know, spoke to a nice lady today. I'm going to see my family. How do I feel? You guys can probably tell. I'm tired from all the grinding, but I do feel good. Mentally, it's healthier, and that's because of getting all those parameters in place. As I said, your business will go better. The energy's better. When you're in the business and you're putting that energy in and you're in the flow and you're creating content and you've got that momentum going, you have great energy. When you build the momentum up, you leave it, you come away from it, you give it space, you spend time with family, you build a different type of momentum and energy because it's a different relationship. Business is business, and clients is clients, and content and marketing. Family is amazing, right? I don't know why I'm getting funny thoughts in my head that are making me laugh. Anyway, family's family, friends, your partner, or at the gym, that energy starts to build up. And when you put it together, like a recipe, you know, you have something nice that you've created. But if you've just got one energy all the time and it's just business, it starts off negative. It starts off positive, and it can become very toxic and negative. And then entrepreneurs wonder why why they feel depressed, even if they got millions and they're making sales and they're getting thousands of millions of views. I've experienced it. So I speak from experience, not from textbooks, and I've coached other entrepreneurs and I've seen them going through it and I've had to help them, and simplifies their world and their life from all the complicated wisdom and all their awakened intuitive understanding, and say, you probably need to just go and see your mum and have a coffee with your mum or your dad. Do you think so? I know so from experience. Try it, see how you feel, report back on the next session. They did it, how do you feel? Oh, it was amazing, I had a great time with my mum or my family, or I did what you said, I met with a friend. I speak from experience, man, this stuff works. But a lot of the time, fear can trick you into believing that you're doing the right thing when you're not doing the right thing, because you're feeling lonely. You're having unnatural amounts of anxiety, paranoia, doubt, negative thoughts, feelings of low self-esteem, feeling that you're not valuable, and that's where the chase comes in. I've got to keep running my business because I won't be a valuable person. That can be a trap. Maybe you need to stop and realize that your value is not determined on your business. Yeah, that the value that you create for others is, but who you are as a person is not determined based on just those things. But obviously you got to go through these things and grow through these things to learn that and come to this understanding, and then have the courage to apply it. Because if we just talk all this stuff, then we're just talking about stuff, concepts and truth. But if you don't apply it, then you're not going to get the results, and it really does work. And I would say it actually increases sales. It increases the quality of the relationships in all aspects of life. And even when I'm doing this video, guys, and sharing this, I'm reinforcing that this is 100% true, because I'm getting all the memories of when I've been doing well in my business, when I've struggled, when I've got the balance right, when I didn't get the balance right. And obviously, well, some of you don't know, I'm so grateful for the wisdom and the experience I got from building a successful business and being on top, having a mental breakdown and spending 6 to 8 weeks in a different type of hotel where they do nice food, but it's a mental hospital where you're on medication and you can't work. So I learned a lot from being in that space and then coming back from that. So I learned a lot of these things through life, not through reading books, through going through great times and extremely challenging, painful times. So try it, see if it works for you. Face your entrepreneurial and your social anxiety, especially with the people that you're close to. Sometimes it's harder for people. It's harder for people to go and socialize and meet the people that they're most close to and they most love, because they feel a bit uncomfortable, because you love them so much, you're close, and you're dealing with stuff in your life, your stresses of your business or your life of your partner, whatever you're dealing with. And that's when you've got to face the fear. You've got to stop being a coward, and you've got to just go and simplify it. And when you do it, usually you have a good experience and you think, why did I make such a big deal out of it? And then when you come back to your business, you don't feel lonely. You don't feel stressed out. You're not panicking that you're not going to get sales, or you're not going to make impact, or you're not going to be valued, or you're going to lose everything. The energy is different type of energy. It actually grows even more. And I'm practicing what I preach, like I said, and I teach this especially in my 1-year program, because it's a whole year. It's accountability, goal setting, building businesses, getting over social anxiety, being successful, but also getting a healthy balance of knowing when enough is enough. Okay, I've been working on my business now for 6 hours. That's it. We've got to get outside, put the laptop down. Business closes for today, and go and socialize with friends or family or people in general. Right? Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate all the support. It's been great. Like, share, subscribe. Just to let you guys know, I've got a weekend confidence program coming up on, I believe it's May the 20th and the 21st. I just sold a space now to a gentleman. There's a few spaces left if you want to book. Great program for helping you to fix this problem that we've just spoken about today, because you're out the house, you've come away from your business or what you're working on, and be with a group of people, overcome your fears of talking to women, getting the right relationship or starting your dating life, and also having the support, being in a group of like-minded men, making friends. So you're going to learn so much. All right, if you want to inquire about the program, or come on, my email address is below and I'll get back to you guys. All right, have a good weekend. Fearless.